Hi grade 3, welcome to science. We are still talking about friction and some different things that go along with friction. Today we will be talking about how friction is harmful or causes bad things and helpful or causes good things. We know from yesterday that friction causes heat, and that can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. One of the ways that friction is harmful is if there's too much heat. I gave the example yesterday of when you use the brakes on a bike, and then if you were to touch the bike, then it would be really hot and it might burn you. So friction can be harmful because it can burn you. So I'm going to write one way that it is harmful is there can be too much heat. Another way that it is bad is sometimes if you're running around in your socks or in your shoes, you can actually get holes in your socks and your shoes from friction, from the rubbing of the two surfaces together. So you can get holes in your clothes. And nobody likes that. Another way that I thought of that friction can be a bad thing is weathering and erosion. We talked about that a long time ago in science, but weathering and erosion mess up the Earth's surface. It can cause changes in Earth's surface, and it can cause dirt and other things that are supposed to be there to go away or to disappear. So friction can be harmful from weathering and erosion because of those two surfaces, the wind or water, rubbing against the dirt. Okay. And finally, one of my least favorite things about friction is how hard it makes things, it's how hard it is to move things. It's hard to push or pull big boxes or to lift things up. That can be so annoying, and that's harmful about friction. So there are some things we don't like about friction, but there are also some really helpful things that we do like about friction. For example, the same reason I put for harmful is actually a helpful thing. Sometimes we do need heat. Sometimes when we're trying to make a fire, we need that heat from friction, or we need heat in other ways. So I'm going to write that down for helpful. We don't want too much, but we need just enough heat from friction. Another way that it is helpful is friction slows things down. Just like I used the example with the bicycle and it burning your hand, we need those brakes on bikes and brakes on cars to help us stop moving. It would be really bad if cars didn't have brakes, then we would just keep going until we got into an accident. So friction is very important. All right, down brakes. Slows things down. Another way that friction is really helpful is there's actually friction between the floor and your feet. If there wasn't friction, then we would be slipping and sliding all over the place, but the friction is what keeps you from falling over or sliding. So we need it to help us walk. And finally, the last way is, did you know you are actually using friction when you are writing with a pencil and a paper? I know, it's crazy, right? But by writing with a pencil or a paper or a marker and a dry erase board, you're using that friction to keep your pencil or whatever writing tool you're using on the paper. If you didn't have it, it would just slide and you wouldn't be able to actually write anything. Sometimes people try and remove friction if it's going to be harmful. They try and make less friction, but sometimes we want more friction. Today for your activity in Seesaw, you will need to look at the different pictures and figure out if the friction is harmful or if it is helpful. Have fun!